this is Dr. Yemi Famuyiwa, your host of Fertile Talks, and I am happy to invite everyone to Fertile Walk 2025. This is going to take place Saturday, October 18th at 9 a.m. in Rockville, starting from 3202 Tower Oaks Boulevard. So this is more than just a walk. It's a fun, family-friendly day packed with health and fitness coaches, a live fertility and wellness talk, local businesses with interactive booths, and plenty of giveaways and surprises. And as an added bonus, the first 10 people to RSVP will be getting a signed copy of my new book that's coming out in March 2026. It's called The Quest for Fertility. Everyone who registers by March 2026 will also be invited to join our exclusive VIP book club with early book excerpts, bonus fertility tips, and special PDF resources. So, spots are limited. Please RSVP. Go to the link in the show notes and RSVP to save your spot. Can't wait to see you there. This episode of Fertile Talks is sponsored by ILMeds.co, an international mail-order pharmacy specializing in fertility medications. If you're looking to save significantly on your fertility treatments without compromising on quality, ILMeds.co is an excellent choice, offering up to 80% of retail prices. And as a special offer to our listeners, use the code FT24 at checkout to receive a $50 discount on your order. For your convenience, you can find a link to their website in the episode show notes. Thank you, and let's get started. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Famuyiwa. We're going to have a wonderful session today. I have a special friend who's going to be joining me, and it is Joe from Grain Fertility. So Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I was like, I hope I didn't make a snafu trying to add you on.
Yeah, it
So
was
say
perfect.
hello to our guests. I'm so excited to have you here.
Great to be here. It's great to talk with you today, so thank you so much.
Awesome. Now, Joe, I have some questions for you. I'm going to let you explain to our audience what you do and who you are. So you are the founder, the creator of Grain Fertility, correct?
I am correct.
Awesome. Can you tell us what Grain Fertility is?
Yeah, sure. So Grain Fertility is a patient support platform that is designed to help ensure that patients who are going through infertility have access to all the information they need to make informed decisions as they go through that treatment process. I'm an IVF dad myself. I went through 4 years of IVF with my wife in order to have our daughter.
You did IVF for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Wow. How many
Yeah,
cycles did you get?
it was 6 total cycles, five
Oh
of
my
which
God.
failed over the course of those 4 years.
Wow. And each one was a fresh transfer or frozen?
Frozen transfer. We had to use third-party reproduction for ours, and we had a combination of egg donation and then eventually known donor to be successful through that process. So we had frozen transfers in almost all of them.
And your wife implanted and successfully delivered?
Yes, I'm very lucky to have a 5-year-old daughter who started kindergarten. I'm local to the Montgomery County area, close to your clinic, and so
Awesome.
we are in the area, and I'm very blessed to have a successful daughter.
Awesome.
But that's one of the reasons that I started Grain Fertility was after going through such a long journey,
Yes.
I wanted to be
Yes.
able to help other people who are going through the same
Yes.
things that we
Yes.
went through.
Yes, yes. So, you've touched on so many things. I'm so super excited that I want to talk to you about. First off, kudos to you. I really respect you because you embody what I always tell my patients. The first thing I tell them is, what's the goal here, people? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to be a parent,
Mhm.
or are you insisting on your way the whole way?
Mhm.
There's a difference. And if you can open your heart to to love, you can be a parent. You can close that chapter. You can move on and have a wonderful life. And you embody that. And I totally respect that. And we'll talk about that some more. So you went through all these challenges. Of course, it was very scary going through it. Tell me, what was the most pressing challenge that you had?
I think part of the problem, I am the type of person who wants to be in control of so many
Yeah,
things. I'm a CEO of a company, as you can tell. I have a type A personality, and there are so many aspects of the
hmm,
infertility journey that you are not in control of, and
correct,
there are so many unknowns.
right,
Unfortunately, with science where it is today,
right,
we don't know why some people are not able, why certain cycles do not work when everything is lined
right,
up properly.
hmm,
When making adjustments to protocols based on previous failures, we should be able to do that. That was the hardest part for me. And then eventually, or as the months turned into years and failed cycle after failed cycle, just the stress of my wife and I going through this and seeing the disappointment time and time again as we wanted to have a family so badly and we're doing everything we could and it simply was not working. And so that was incredibly hard for us as a
yeah,
couple and also individuals to be able to deal
hmm,
with that. And
hmm,
we
hmm,
actually dealt with it in different ways, but I think it really made us stronger as individuals and a couple where
hmm,
my wife, was reliant on some friends and therapists that she worked closely with. I got very involved with Resolve, the National Infertility Association, doing advocacy work for them using
yes.
my background in policy as a way to channel all that frustration and energy into something positive so that way we could try to help others as we were going through our own journey. That was the hardest part for me.
Oh, awesome. So, explain to me what were some of the resources that you wish you had that
Yeah,
you would want for other people?
absolutely. So, like a lot of people, my wife didn't just have infertility. She had other comorbidities and health issues that she was dealing with. And
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one really, especially when we were going through our journey, which is 2016 to 2020, were the 4 years we were doing IVF, we
Mm,
didn't have the same understanding we have even now in, some of the other health impacts that are affecting
mm,
infertility and dealing with other doctors. My wife has a gastroenterologist, her endocrinologist, OBGYN,
yeah,
all these other
yeah.
doctors. And
Mm,
as you know, when changes go through your medications are updated as your
right.
protocols adjusted, et cetera, what does that impact in those other
Other,
doctors' care and the
exactly.
medicines that she
Mm,
is taking in that too? And how
yes,
do you just deal with all the information that you're responsible for as a patient? It's
yes,
not just the
yes.
health decisions, there's the financial decisions, there's legal implications, there's
Mm-hmm,
how do you tell your friends and family, how do you balance your work life, et cetera. And
mm-hmm.
no one really was providing us with resources or anyone to talk to. We felt
Yeah,
incredibly alone through that
wow.
process. And so
Yeah.
that's where Grain Fertility really comes from, is trying to give people the ability to have someone to talk to. And in our case, we have trained fertility nurses who are there to be able to help coach people through the process,
Mm-hmm.
help them through the
Excellent.
emotional, the physical, the mental, and the medical components of all of this, and
Mm-hmm.
have someone who can help guide you to know what's going to come next. What are
Yes,
some tools and tricks,
yes.
that we wish, you learn after five
Mm-hmm.
failed cycles, you learn how to
Yes,
deal with this stuff, but no one's there to
yes.
tell you on cycle number one. That's
Right,
what we're
right.
hoping to do.
Awesome. So, I'm really super excited about that. That touches on a lot of things. So, explain to me, so what is the core of grain fertility? How do they use it? How do they access it? So step by step, I go to your app or website. What do I do when I get there?
Yeah, so for everyone who's interested in it, the first thing we do is we do a discovery call with the
Yeah.
person. So go to our
Mm,
website at
mm,
www.grainfertility.com, or you can
mm,
book a link directly through our social media
mm,
channels, and you get to talk to a fertility nurse for free for
mm,
20
mm,
minutes. That's a way to
mm,
get to understand, and you talked about it earlier, everyone has different goals as they go through this.
yeah.
Some people are
Mhm.
looking for that emotional support. Others
Right,
are the type of people who want to have cold, hard facts. They just want
right.
someone who has a medical license who can help them through and understand what all this means in the context of
Mm,
their own journey.
mm,
So we really try to
mm,
understand what this person's goals are first as they go through that. Then we offer a subscription model where, because there's so much uncertainty through the process, we
mm,
offer different models that have a different number of sessions and resources available for our members, for people who are
mm,
going through fertility
mm,
treatment. So you can meet
mm,
one on one with a fertility nurse on a weekly
mm,
basis, on a daily basis, whatever you want for your frequency, and to help them understand what all of this means as they go through that process. So we really are trying to be receptive to the needs that each individual has, but also incredibly conscious of the how expensive fertility treatment is. So we try not to be overbearing in, in how much we charge people, because I know personally how hard that is to balance your checkbook every month and trying to
Yeah.
figure out how am I paying for all this, even
Yeah.
in a state like Maryland.
Well, there are three things you raised that, and I got to keep track in my head. The first thing is you have expert fertility nurses, but you and I know that fertility is mostly individualized and
Mhm.
protocol. We don't, at least in my clinic, we don't have a one size fits all.
Yeah.
I like to listen to my patient and I tailor to my patients.
Mhm.
So, how is calling another nurse who's not in my clinic going to help with that? Because they may not know what I'm doing.
100%. So we're not there to provide medical advice. We
Uh-huh.
actually are there to be able to help understand, help that patient understand what it all means. So we actually will work early with that patient to say, okay, what is the protocol that your clinic is doing? What are the medications that doing? What is their preferred approach? They're the ones who
Mhm.
have spent time with you. They understand what you're
Mhm.
going through medically, and then we help them understand what that means. So that way, when they go into your office and they're having conversations with you, they have a little more information to be able to ask you informed questions. So they feel more confident in being
Mhm.
able to understand. So after they meet with you and your team, and you're going through your protocol, and you're preparing for these milestone events, as you go preparing for an egg retrieval or an embryo transfer, and these other
Mhm.
big things. A lot of
Mhm.
times patients are still, they don't absorb everything because there's so much in their head. It's so
Mhm.
overwhelming that they
Mhm.
still will either forget things. And even if you've
Mhm.
done everything you can as a
Right.
doctor or the nursing staff,
Mhm.
patients still sometimes don't understand everything, and that can lead to mistakes. So what we do is we will help them kind of walk through everything
Mhm.
again to
Mhm.
ensure that they understand what you
Mhm.
have written for them. All the
Mhm.
directions and everything.
Mhm.
We're not there to contradict them in any way. We're not providing medical advice. We are there simply to help them get across that finish line so they feel confident and comfortable with
Mhm.
what you, as the medical professional, have worked
Mhm.
with them
Mhm.
to decide
Mhm.
what's the best way for them
Mhm.
to try to have a
Mhm.
family.
Okay. So then, that's fair enough. Because we do individualize our protocols a lot.
Mhm.
But and when you have two experts giving opposing ideas, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Okay.
So talk about the emotional support. Like
Yeah.
people talk about the 2 week wait, right? That's the bigaboo, the elephant in
Yeah.
the room. What do you do for that?
Sometimes people just want someone to talk to and someone to listen to them. It's such an
Uh-huh.
isolating journey where,
Mhm.
a lot of people aren't necessarily at that point where they're comfortable telling friends and family that they're going through this process. So they want
Mhm.
someone who, one, understands what they're actually
Right,
going through,
right.
because it's such a individualized process, like you've alluded to
Yeah,
earlier. Very
yeah,
few people know what this is like to have that 2 week wait
yeah.
where everything you've spent tens of thousands of dollars and months building towards is all dependent on what this test that comes up in the next 2 weeks. So for us, it's really about providing just a sounding board, someone to talk to, someone for them to be able to ask questions about.
Right.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, they will start to say, okay, I'm having a little cramping. I'm having a
Right.
little bit
Right.
of this or that. Is this
Right.
serious? Is this good? Is
Right.
this bad?
Right.
Etc.
Right.
So they're going to be
Excellent.
talking to you. They're going to be messaging your nurses, calling you if they have your
Mm-hmm.
number, asking all these questions. So
Mm-hmm.
we're there to
Mm-hmm.
simply provide a sounding board for them and to help provide some answers into what's going on as they go through that process. Because that, you're right, that 2 week wait is brutal for absolutely everyone, and
So,
trying to be able to provide them
yeah,
with everything.
yeah. So you're the BFFLs during that time, huh?
Exactly. We like to say it's kind of like being a fertility doula, where it's
Uh-huh.
like all the
I
stuff to be
like,
able
I
to.
like, hang on a second. I,
Mhm.
I, I, I like that. Fertility doula. I
Yeah.
totally get that. I love that. Right. So Grain Fertility, your own personal fertility doula.
Exactly.
And that's a little better than what? A Facebook group or a Reddit group? How's that different?
Yeah, absolutely. One is Facebook groups. They serve a purpose, and my wife especially was really big into those as someone to be able to talk to. But one, a lot of times you don't know necessarily who you are talking
Mhm.
to. You don't know
Yeah,
what their background is. You don't know whether or
exactly.
not that they have even if they have gone through a lot of
Hmm.
stuff in their own journey,
Hmm.
their journey is only an N of one. They only know
Yes,
what they
yeah,
know, what their doctors have told them, or they've read
yes,
online. We
yeah.
try to provide them with medical
Hmm.
professionals who have worked in clinical settings, people who have worked in the OR, people who have worked in the front and the
Hmm.
back end of clinics. They've performed
Hmm.
thousands of transfers. They've held people's hands as they go through the ups and
Hmm.
downs of the fertility journey.
Awesome.
They understand all of that. So we
Yeah.
provide a different, aspect to that. We're not there to necessarily provide them with that sense of community, which is incredibly important as they go through that
Yeah.
process. Grain
Yeah.
fertility Fertility isn't there for that. There are other companies and there are other channels for that, and we think they do fantastic jobs, and we refer people to those. We are there to be able to provide the other aspects of that and that one-on-one connection with a real human being who understands what's going on.
So, Joe, you mentioned a subscription model, correct? What
Yes.
if they get pregnant and they're fine and, happily ever after? Then what?
Well, so a lot of times we actually have patients who, if they've been working with us and they go
Mhm.
and they are successful and then they graduate from their clinic, especially if you've had a long journey with recurrent failures, there's a lot of uneasiness and you're still are wondering what's going on, especially when you start to go back to your OBG, YN, and you
Mhm.
are trying to, you're going through that process, of,
Right.
you know, you're not having as many appointments with your doctors anymore. You don't have all this attention. You're not getting as
Right.
many updates. There's a
Mhm.
lot of uneasiness, and that's where, talking about this mental. Sometimes people just want to talk to someone who understands what they're going through and
Mhm.
can help provide them with tools, resources, insights, how to stay organized. And organized doesn't mean just all the information. It's like,
Mhm.
what are some questions I should be asking so that way I know, like, I can feel a little more confident about what's going on. What are the things that really matter, or what are very normal side effects or just changes that are occurring in your body that mean I don't have to be calling the doctor's office at 2 a.m. because I have some cramping or minor bleeding or these other issues that we know are common, but
Mhm.
rightfully so, people get very nervous doing those because those also can be symptoms of
Right.
something more severe happening.
So, so let me ask a big question because I know some people are dying to ask this question, so I'll
Yeah.
ask it for them. Um, how much does this cost them?
Yeah, so we actually have 4 different subscription options for people. So
All right.
for $59 a month, you can get 2 coaching sessions, you get educational documents, you get our access to our application, which lets people organize everything
Mhm.
that they're responsible for as they go through that journey. So not just their medical records, this also means legal documents, receipts, all those other things that you have. My wife had a 3-ring binder to keep everything together. We want to digitize all of that. So
All right.
$59.99 is our cheapest subscription, so that's a couple sessions per month. And then we have several other models that go all the way up to an unlimited model, which is for $250 a month. You can talk to a fertility nurse every single day if you want. The
Mhm.
idea is that patient, that member gets to choose how often they want, and we're trying to be conscious of, what is, how much this costs because there are so many unexpected expenses that come up.
Mhm.
We don't want to be the one who's causing that burden for someone who says,
Mhm.
okay, I actually have to forego something that's incredibly important because I'm doing this process. We don't want to be that financial barrier to someone as they go through
Mhm.
this.
Mhm. So, very good. So now let's switch a little bit. So they can get a chance to meet you in person, correct?
That is
Yes.
correct. Yes,
You're
I'm going
going
to
to be
be at the
coming
Fertile
to,
Walk.
you're going to be at the Fertile Walk
I
2025
am,
at
yes.
Tower Oaks. So I encourage everyone who's thinking about it, you will see the links to Fertile Walk on our website. And my assistant will put it on the show note once we let this video go live. So you do have to RSVP. We don't want to do like we do sometimes back at home in Nigeria where, oh, I heard, and then I, no heard, I came. No, 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 no. You got to RSVP so they can meet you in person. But in the meantime, if somebody wants to contact you or join or find you, where do they go?
Yeah, absolutely. So on top of the Fertile Walk, you can find us on social media at Grain Fertility is our handle. We're incredibly active in providing information to patients so that they
Yeah.
understand everything about it. Doing factor fictions, we're doing a lot of information, especially trying to keep people up to date and everything that's happening in the fertility space. You can also go to our website at www.grainfertility.com. Through that, you can go ahead and book a free discovery call with one of our fertility
Mhm.
nurses. You can also personally reach out to me on social media. My handle is at Joe Cody 5. Message us, DM. There's a link tree that we have available on social media. You can go to our without and email us also. Anyway, we are more than happy to answer any questions to anyone who
All right.
wants to learn
Awesome.
more
Awesome.
without any, without any burden or anything of you have to sign up for anything. We are there to be able to help people. I
Awesome.
know what this is like personally, so it's really important that we're there to help people when they need it.
So that's grain. That's G as in George, R as in Robert, A as in Apple, I as in ink, N as in
Yes.
Nancy.
Grain
Oh
fertility.
yeah, grain fertility. Except we're reading it backwards on the screen. So grain
Yes.
fertility. So Joe, I'm so excited. I look forward to seeing you Saturday, October 18. at 9 a.m. And I encourage all our listening audience. I mean, shoot, by the way, I don't have any financial interest whatsoever in Grain Fertility. Joe's just a great guy who has a great resource. And I thought, tell us about it. Come share it. So I have no financial interest whatsoever in Grain Fertility, but do come out on Saturday, October 18th, and come talk to Joe yourself. Don't take my word for it. Shoot. And Joe, look, I know some of my Nigerian patients are going to tell you, Joe, about that $59. What can we do? Brother to brother, I mean, I'm just saying, that's how we.
That is fine. As I said, financial barriers should not be what stops people from getting the support and help that they need as they go through this process. So I'm happy to talk to absolutely anyone. My job is here to help people. So I would love to meet every one of you in person at the Fertile Walk and tell me more about your stories, see how we can help you.
Excellent. Joe, thank you so much for taking time from your lovely daughter this Sunday. I appreciate you. Thank you. You're a great guy.
Thank you so much for everything you do and for the community. I appreciate it.
All right. See you soon. Thank you for tuning in to Fertile Talks. We hope today's episode has provided you with valuable insights and support for your fertility journey. Remember, you are not alone. Now, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please simply leave us a comment. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with a friend. Your ratings, your shares, and your reviews are greatly appreciated and is going to help us serve more of our listening audience. Thank you once again. This is Dr. Famuyiwa.